Ladies and gentlemen, our next speech is starting immediately. Ambassador, the podium is yours.
Very good afternoon, everybody. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure for me to address the representative of various governments, private sector organizations, civil society, and academia in Istanbul today. It is the need of the hour to address the issue of skills for sustainable and inclusive growth. Skills, indeed, are essential for quality education, decent work, and economic growth. It can easily be highlighted as one of the preconditions for human development in the context of the new Sustainable Development Goals. Nonetheless, our region faces an increasingly serious challenge in generating skills required by the employers. Human capital sphere is becoming more complex day by day. 200 million people globally are out of job. Female participation to labor force remains only 50%. As International Labour Organization highlights, the youth employment rates have reached 28% in Middle East and 30% in North Africa in 2014. World Bank states that almost 1 out of every 3 young people fails to find employment in countries such as Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Syrian Arab Republic, and Iraq. Overall, integration of youth, women, and other disadvantaged groups into the economy is a challenging task. The unemployment rates in the OIC region are indeed alarming. According to the latest available data, OIC countries recorded significantly higher average unemployment rates compared to the world during the period 2000 and 2008. As of 2014, total unemployment rate in OIC member countries is estimated 7.6%. Moreover, average youth employment rate in OIC member countries is even less promising. It remained constantly above 16%, and this rate is well above both non-OIC developing and developed countries during the period 2000 and 2014. Yet, there is room for both relief and hope by providing skills development for enhanced employability. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that 5 leading organizations in development have pledged to jointly tackle this challenge of unemployment. Islamic Development Bank, UNDP, IICPSD, SESRIC, and Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency, TİKA, have agreed to undertake joint action through the Skills, Employment, and Entrepreneurship Development for Inclusive Growth Initiative, known as the Seed for Inclusive Growth. This partnership aims to increase job and livelihood opportunities for the disadvantaged groups. This will be achieved both through leveraging the role of the markets and the contributions of private sector, the skills development. Considering the severe refugee crisis in the OIC region, the program will also target migrants and refugees. Ladies and gentlemen, skills are instrumental for these groups to integrate to the economy and access livelihood opportunities. The pillar of the seed for inclusive growth will be private sector-led approach. We strongly believe that the engagement of private sector can integrate market signals to skills training more effectively. It can ensure that students and trainees acquire employability skills. The private sector, thus, has a potential to significantly contribute to addressing the existing skills mismatch. Specific examples include ensuring inclusion of recent technological and industrial investment in skills training. The seed for inclusive growth will rely on the synergies and complementary strengths and experiences of partners. It promises the prospects of more dynamic and productive workforce and will boost the competitiveness of the industries. At the same time, it will foster new enterprises that drive sustainable growth across the OIC region. This is the joint cause that we will remain deeply committed. We aim to equip the trainees with the skills required for available jobs and vacancies. This will be done particularly in the sectors with high growth potential and decent career opportunities. The trainees will be able to gain both technical and soft life skills. With the partners, we are aiming to achieve zero trained but unemployed individuals. The initiative will first implement a pilot in Palestine. There, we will offer high-quality vocational and entrepreneurial skills training. We will also explore opportunities for scaling and implementation. We are initially considering Libya, Comoros, and Syrian refugees in host countries of Turkey, Jordan, and Lebanon. With successful implementation, we plan to replicate the model in all countries across the region. Except from the seat for inclusive growth, I would like to also briefly inform, benefiting this opportunity, you other initiatives undertaken by SESRIC with regard to skill development and employment. It's obvious that vocational education and training is one of the powerful responses to unemployment problems in OIC member countries. The vocational education and training program for the OIC member countries, in short OIC VET, being executed by SESRIC, it aims at improving the competencies and skills of the people according to the needs and priorities of labor markets through intra-OIC partnership at institutional level. Furthermore, under the OIC VET program, SESRIC has conducted some projects in collaboration with private sector. I would like to give just two examples of vocational educational training sub-program of OIC VET. First, International Student Internship Program, OIC ISAP. The OIC International Student Internship Program is a special international internship program developed under the OIC VET program, which basically aims to enhance the quality of workforce employed in OIC member countries and strengthen integrity and convergence of labor markets and promote competitiveness of OIC economies through increasing knowledge and skills of university students about to enter into the labor market. The cooperation project of the OIC ISAP program was first initiated in the summer 2010 in collaboration with two leading NGOs, namely Müsiyat and Babi Alem International Student Association. Second sub-program, Regional Collaboration Centers for Vocational Training. SESRIC collaborates regional vocational training center in selected member countries for improving the vocational education and training of the OIC member countries. The main role of these centers will be the elaboration of curriculum for vocational training and organizing training programs for the trainers in various vocational fields. This center will also promote the exchange of trainees and trainers among OIC member countries. Within the framework of this project, the first center was selected in Sudan, namely Sudan Turkish Center for Training of Trainees. Moreover, another example I will give you, the Bina Initiative Program, in collaboration with Libyan government and Islamic Development Banks, also aims at creating new job opportunities in Libya through establishing small and medium entrepreneurs incubators for Libyan companies. The program also involves several trainings on different subjects, including public management and governance for civil servants, experts, journalists, and members, especially for ex-combatants. In conclusion, I hope that today's discussion will strengthen our common pursuit and give birth to vibrant ideas. New modalities and innovations could contribute to the productivity and competitiveness of our countries. Only then we could become the role models in the international arena for inclusive growth. Lastly, I would like to sincerely thank UNDP Istanbul International Center for Private Sector in Development, as well as the organizers of the Bosphorus Summit for providing this invaluable opportunity to share our objectives. Without further delay, I invite panelists to start our panel. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you to Ambassador Musa Kulaklıkaya. May I please keep you there for 1 minute? May I please now kindly invite Mr. Erşat Hürmüzlü, Honorary Board Co-Chair of International Cooperation Platform, to present the flag of honor to the Ambassador. Thank you to Ambassador Musa Kulaklıkaya for his participation once again, and thank you to Erşat Hürmüzlü. Thank you. Our panel is starting now. May I please kindly invite our moderator, Gökhan Dikmener, technical specialist, to the stage first, and our panelists, Clement, Chief Skills and Business Development, UNDP India, Mr. Rahul Kassahun, Founder and Executive Director, Africa, John Pablo Napoli, Skills Academy Leader, IBM, Mr. Reddy, Managing Director, CEO, Mr. Mustafa Osman Turan, Deputy Director General for Multilateral Economic Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey.
Siz mi anons edeceksiniz, ben mi söyleyeyim?
Unfortunately, Mr. Clement needs to leave as soon as he finishes speeches, so he's sitting right at the back. So he gives his sincere apologies to you. So the stage is now yours.
Thank you. And on behalf of UNDP Istanbul International Center for Private Sector in Development, I would like to welcome you all to 7th Bosphorus Summit once again. And today we are together to discuss skills development from various aspects. First, we will start about how the skills could contribute to inclusive growth and human development. And then we will hear about different types of skills and soft skills, such as soft skills, which are as important as the technical skills. And then yesterday we discussed a lot about ICT, importance of information technology, and we will learn from the experience of one leading information technology company, how it develops its workforce through new modalities, new methods and approach. And then we will hear from an inspiring example and learn India's experience with the private sector. Finally, we will hear about the latest guidance from the international organizations and also hear about some creative experiences from Turkey. Thank you, and I would like to start with our first panelist, Mr. Clement. Mr. Chauvet is the Chief of Skills and Business Development from India, UNDP India Counter Office. He is based in New Delhi. He has more than 15 years of experience in various UN organizations, including UNDP, UNFPA, and UNICEF. And Mr. Chauvet, I would like to ask you the question about what are the key lessons from India on the contribution of skills acquisition to inclusive growth and human development. Thank you. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much. First of it, I would like to thank the organizer for inviting us. And I would like to apologize as well because I might have to leave after my intervention to catch a flight to go back to Delhi. The idea that, so I've been in India for the last 2 years right now, working on the project with the objective of improving the life of 1 million women and girls over the next 3 years by providing them opportunity either to be placed in a job or to start their own business. The program is funded by IKEA Foundation and implementing by UNDP and other partners. Regarding the situation in India, India being what it is, that the numbers are quite staggering, to say the least. The new government has actually put a lot of effort in terms of skilling and vocational training to make sure that actually they can reap the benefit of the demographic dividend. But they have huge targets, meaning to say that actually by 2022, the government is planning to skill and place 400 million people. So it's 400 million youth that's going to get skilled and find a job. Mostly over the next 5 years or so, it's 1 million young people that are entering into the labor market on a monthly basis. And so it's 1 million new jobs that have to be created. So it's quite staggering, and the task is huge. The fact that there are a lot of things that has been done right now to make sure that actually we can create a pool of talent within the young people in India that will reap the benefit of the demographic dividend. India has been focusing a lot on this idea of public-private partnership regarding the skilling ecosystem and make sure that actually corporates and private sector are more engaged. And it is not only a question of the government trying to put programs together, but much more in terms of creating new and innovative public-private partnership. So it comes from the fact that India launched their new skilling policy in 2015. They created as well a body which is called NSDC, or National Skill Development Corporation, which is actually a private sector-led body. 51% of the share, it's all by the private sector, where there is a need for more engagement and involvement for the private sector. So that translates into a fact that the private sector is quite involved into the actually defining what is the best curriculum, so we can make sure that there is a matching between the expectation of the private sector and the supply in terms of skilled workforce. The private sector is involved because all government schemes and programs are actually placement linked, meaning to say that the training provider will receive the totality of funds if ever they are able to place directly the young people into a job. So the project that I'm currently dealing with actually focuses a lot on women. Because we believe in UNDP that women are the cornerstone of development, and that if women are skilled and find a job, it will first benefit their household and the community. Because if women start putting money on the table and they start being part of the decision-making process at the household level, and actually they make decisions which are much different than their male counterparts, and especially they invest for the future. So they invest for the future of the education of their children, for the future of for the health of their children. So they create a virtuous cycle of prosperity directly at the household level. But the fact is as well that in increasing the female workforce participation, so not only it will benefit the community, but it's actually benefiting the business. And we already have a few examples in what we're doing that show that it just makes business sense. For example, we work with a company called Jinden Stainless Steel, and for the first time ever, there will be women on the factory floor. So we actually mobilize the girls, we train them regarding specific job role, and for the first time, they will be on the factory floor. So the first batch of the 40 girls are just been certified right now. And what we learned directly from the company is that even when they were during their training period, there was a huge part of on-the-job training. even when they were during the training period. They were working only 5 days a week, while the factory was open as well on Saturday. But during Saturday, the management, the direction of the factory decided to stop